the time of trying to have the silver bullet is over for the global companies. It's over. We never found the, the silver bullet.
Juliana Bley, thank you so much for joining us today on the Safety Spotlight podcast. Your work tying in essentially a bunch of human factors into the workplace and really bringing that psychological element into a space that sometimes can be very technical is incredibly important. I'm eager to jump into it. I think a good place to start would be just having you give us a rundown of where you came from, your background, and how you got to where you are today.
Great, thank you for being here. I'm so glad for this conversation. And I've been working as a work psychologist for the last 25 years. I've started in the graduation with research about mental health at work and health and safety in workplaces, and especially my focus and my main curiosity always been about the learning processes. How can we teach people to take care of themselves? How can we improve better offers of training, educational programs, safety talks, coaching, safety. So during all of these years, I've been working with corporate programs about learning in AHS. And you are right, it's about human factors, but it's about education, adult education, training strategies, something about technology, but now we are more concerned, still more concerned about the learning design than the technology, because without a good learning design, technology is not the whole thing, and it's not the main situation. And in all of these years, I've been working for global companies, high-risk industries, especially oil and gas, mining, energy, manufacturing, and a lot of steel, a lot of different environments, work environments, with different risks connected with the work and the workers, all level of workers, since the C-level to the sharp end. But the core of this journey is how can we prepare people and a good learning environment for these people in their daily practices. How can they face the risks of the work and plan and run their daily works with more consciousness and care, and not so connected with the rules, but more connected with the mindful aspect of the work, right?
This is something that I'm really eager to discuss, because I think a lot of safety professionals have trouble engaging their workforce in these discussions and making it something that sticks. They'll have a safety talk, they'll have a toolbox talk, and then the next week goes by and it's almost gone poof right over their head, right? How do you really engage someone and create an effective learning environment for safety?
It's interesting because this is a very simple process to engage people with something. It's simple, but we have a huge problem about it in AHS area, right? It's really interesting, this phenomenon. We have an area and a bunch of systems and rules and procedures, and it brings into this area some avoidance, because people are not so interested in these topics and in this conversation. It's boring. It's not interesting. It's always repetitive. We are always telling them the same things, the same rules, the same prescriptions. So this is one of our most challenging aspects. This area is so boring. And the way that we are trying to engage people, it's repetitive and boring as well. So how can we connect people more with this area? First, one of the things is to exercise some empathy. We are accustomed to go to these conversations and to jump into these conversations with people from the ground and coordinators and frontline leaders as specialists, with kind of arrogance, with a bit of arrogance, with a bit of I am the specialist and you are not the specialist, and I am here to teach you something. And this relationship is not so open and powerful to connect both of these stakeholders, the specialist area with the workers and the operational people, right? So one of the things is we can exercise more empathy and be more humble, and to open the conversation with people and not as specialists and not as leaders and not as people who have a lot of certifications, because this difference and this hierarchy is not so good for connection. People are not so interested in this kind of relationship. They are in a fear position, they are in a defensive position, and this is not so good for engagement. Another thing that we have as a challenge is the boring aspect. The way that we share content, information, experiences. We have a lot of new and innovative ways to teach people, to develop people into the organizations and in everywhere. People are always with a smartphone in their hands. So we have more colorful resources, we have videos, we have humor, we have a lot of resources to connect more the people's attention, and we are not using all of them. We are always in this content-focused information without wrapping up all of this with a funny and well-humored and with a good mood for these people. So we have more resources that we are actually using for. And the other hand, we have the actively listening aspect. It's not so common in this area. We are in a position that we are showing them that we are open to actively listening. And engagement is made by human connection. Without actively listening, without a good communication, without some affective and emotional connection, people are not open to engage with anything. So the connecting, I used to say we have to connect heart, heads and hands, not just heads. And we are, as a technical professionals, we are always trying to connect people with technical and theoretical and conceptual information. And this is not enough for bringing engagement into these operational areas. We have to be able to touch people emotionally, to touch people in a human way, not just in a technical way, you know.
Absolutely. And you see that so often where you can, have everything on a checklist right in front of them, right? You can bring up every fact, but if you're not able to really speak from the heart, right, and connect with them and bring in, I love that you mentioned humor, as another aspect, a way to really engage, whatever it might be, something we're communicating to humans. So if we're not making it palatable for humans, then
Yes.
it's really not gonna translate in a way. And I was looking at some of the sessions that you ran through. I believe it's Safety Lab,
Safety lab.
that you do. What has that experience been like? You know, being at the center of those conversations and seeing people really engaged. What has that kind of been like for you? That journey.
Yeah, a Safety Lab is a program, a learning program focused on experience learning. So experience learning is more than transmitting information. It's about organizing the context and the environment and different experience with a group of people. Here we are often running 50 people classes. It's a huge group to have in a training room, in a training center. And we always spend 3 days in a kind of immersion, experiencing different techniques of human connection, dialogue, engagement, learning design, especially using some mindsets. The first is human-centered design. It's not possible to engage people without human-centered design, because we are not designing our training process for these people in a hospital, as an example. So we have a lot of people working in a huge hospital. It's different to design a safety learning program for people who are working in an oil and gas platform. It's a different context, different profile of people. They need other things. What they have in common is the need to learn more about how can they do their work safely. But the design is completely different, because we have to design for these specific people and not for people in general, right? So one of the things that we are trying to develop in AHS professionals and leaders and HR professionals, this is the people that we often receive in Safety Lab. We are working in a way that they could understand and bring into their daily practice this human-centered design mindset first. The second, we have a huge bunch of different techniques, resources, strategies, learning strategies to connect people with a good and an interesting environment of learning. And we are not using all of these resources in the safety area. We are still insisting in old-fashioned strategies and models. So we have a great educator, Portuguese educator. He's called José Pacheco. He used to say, we are 20th century educators teaching 21st century people using models from the 19th century, right? We have a disconnection between the models, educational models for adults in workplaces, especially in safety area. We have a huge gap between the models that we have available today on internet, on Google, and people are using a lot of these techniques in innovation area, research and development, in technology, and HR, and the safety area are still insisting in traditional, very traditional approaches. So in Safety Lab, we are trying to shake this up and to invite these people to open up to this new reality. It's simple to change it. It's not complex. or difficult or hard to change is really easy to change. And these techniques are all available for everybody, not so for psychologists or professional educators. Any AHS professional can reorganize their toolbox to offering better experience in training and safety talks and educational programs, right?
So what I'm hearing is it's not complicated.
No.
It's very much something that's simple, but almost where you guys come in a way is to open their eyes and say, "Oh, wow, there is a different way to go
Yeah.
about training." Because like you said, you're using like 19th century methods to teach this, which is not effective, especially when we're teaching, 21st century. We're trying to bring them up to the 21st century in actual, practices. How are we going to do that if we're using communication methods that are outdated? What have been some of the results that stick out in your mind, or successes where you went in and you're really able to make a difference? Does anything come to mind?
Yeah. We have almost 100 people, almost 1,000 people. This year we are connecting almost 1,000 people in this learning ecosystem that we used to call Safety Lab. And we have been measuring some outcomes and results and some positive impact that they are being able to improve into their own organizations, because all of them, or most part of them, are working for big companies, global companies in AHS area, into the AHS area. So we have some numbers about more than 60% of these professionals come to Safety Lab without any background of learning strategies or didactics, or how can they educate adults in workplaces. So their background, their toolbox, and their preparation for this activity never happened. And they are training people without any self-training for this position, for this role, right? So this is a huge thing. 60% of our AHS professional was never were prepared to train people properly, using adults learning methods, using neuroscience connected for adults learning. So it's a lack of background for these people, and these people are often daily into the safety training, trying to training people. So the outcome is a mess of this environment, of this context. We are now in our 25th edition for the Safety Lab. So it's been 7 years running this laboratory for learning for AHS, and more than 85% of these people they are feeling now more prepared to return to their position and to their daily practice, improving simple but powerful changes and adjustments that could help them to collect better outcomes in this situation. So they are being able, with simple mindsets and techniques, to return after the 3 days immersion and improve some simple situations that makes difference, and improve more engagement for the people that they are training and educating and investing in development every day in their companies. They are aware that these simple changes could improve more effectiveness in the educational aspect. So we are here talking about non-technical skills. We are talking about communication skills. We are talking about opening and developing a good psychological safety environment in their workplaces, and triggering collaborative behaviors in this area. And we have to keep this kind of skill in our radar, because the new views of safety, the future of safety, is often more collective, more collaborative. We have to discover how to do safety with people and not for people anymore, with less prescriptions and more connection and co-creation, and working together to developing new solutions for our daily challenges in safety. So I am aware, and I believe that we are being able to become more competent, not just in a training aspect, but in our mindset for the future, because developing people and teaching people is more than prescribing safety or repeating rules or reinforcing old prescriptions, but is more about how can we trigger collective work, shared purpose, and this environment when people are feeling safe to report things, to report situations, to face the daily challenges together and not by themselves or with fear to report anything. It's more than just for training.
Special thanks to our sponsor, BIS Safety Software, one of the leading safety and compliance software applications on the market today. We wanted to shout out the team for their new lone worker technology, designed to provide enhanced protection and peace of mind for workers while they are working alone. It includes features like check-in schedules, automated notifications, and you can designate supervisors to receive alerts. This lone worker technology helps round out the full scope of their safety management software. Lone worker is just the tip of the iceberg. See everything they have to offer at bissafety.ca.
So you've worked in some pretty big organizations. Coca-Cola, to name one. I know there was a few oil and gas companies as well.
Yeah.
And I'm curious, when it comes to working with big companies and larger organizations, what do you see as some of the challenges that are harder to approach with those size companies versus the smaller ones? Because I think, it's easier probably to get, the majority of a company in a room to actually have these discussions when it's a smaller organization. So how do you make sure that you're having an impact in those bigger companies, if that makes sense?
Great. When you have a big company that are taking care of their governance, they are developing an efficient management system. They are committed with continuous improvement. When they have their business strategy clear and shared with people, it's easier to work with them in EHS area. It's easier than in the situation that we are trying to build the basis of this EHS management in a small company. So I used to work for big companies just because we have more opportunities to improve some specific processes. So when we are helping a global company to develop their maturity in EHS, their mindset in decision making, and structuring some better learning projects, we have to abandon the idea that we are there to change everything, or we are there to move on with all of AHS aspects at the same time, in the same moment, with the same people. So systems thinking is the basis of this approach. We have to understand how the systems can change, and change management in a big company is a kind of a acupuncture. You know,
Yeah, it is. It is.
you have to be able to assess, to evaluate when which are the part of the system that it's more ready to change, and to point your needle there and to focus our energy there. And if you have inside in the HS area, or HR, or communication, or corporate affairs, a group of people that could take these projects in their hands and to run it inside the business, because the consultant, the specialist, especially in my case, that I am not inside and I am not running the business every day. I am there just to organize and to develop some project or program. I have to prepare, to connect, to build with a group this strategy, and to co-create with them, with the resources that are available for us, to design this strategy in a way that they could improve and support and make alive the strategy. Because the regular aspect, our daily experience is about we are going there to develop some really interesting and amazing project. Everybody is so happy and glad about it. And in the first 3 months or 6 months, everybody is engaged with the program. And when the project, the implementation project ends, everything goes out and disappear. And well, 3 years ago I developed a really interesting project here. Where is it? Nobody knows. Everything disappeared. Just like a sunny day after a rainy day, everything is comes to air again. So we have to use some strategies, and smart strategies, in order to trigger the organizational learning. This is more about organizational learning than people's learning. How can we make sure that this strategy will keep alive for years, despite the changing specialists? People are going and coming from this area, but this strategy could be integrated in their daily mindset and their daily way to handle things in safety area, right? So this is a really interesting challenge to face.
Is. And your metaphor of acupuncture for change management is phenomenal, because in the same way where you have to be precise, if those needles are poked in the wrong spot at the wrong time, it can do a lot of damage. A lot of damage. So if you're not accurate with, picking the areas that are actually ready to change and making sure that you're implementing the right processes, you can really set yourself back quite a few steps there. When you're talking to leaders in organizations, how do you go about earning their buy-in? Because what I find oftentimes can be an issue is you might have the workers are all on board, but leadership isn't quite there. They're off in their own world. They say, oh, this is a problem for the safety manager. We don't necessarily need to get involved in this. But to your point, this is an effort everybody's got to be involved. Everybody's got to be in this to win this, right? So how do you earn that buy-in from the leaders?
Yeah. So let me organize some essential points. First, you actually can make a lot of money as a consultant selling a lot of needles and these noisy projects, and you can make a lot of money selling this, because when a company goes to a consultancy service, often they are in pain. They had fatality, they are facing a worse process in their regular safety numbers. They are in trouble, so they are in pain, and they have money, and they need some orientation and some solution to trying to move the situation for another level. So if you are more committed with have a successful consultancy company, you can sell noisy projects, a lot of consultants in a team for a year or two, running a lot of tools and trainings, and noisy, shaky, and something change in the end of the day. Something will change, but I am not sure about the investment of energy and time and the outcome. So the first thing, in my perspective, right? I am not the owner of the real truth. I have a perspective. In my perspective, I don't want to sell for a big company a strategy that costs a lot and that could be able to trigger soft outcomes. So it's important to calibrate, to balance the effort and the outcome. Every day I have a manager of a VP or a CEO asking me, how can we change everything in a year? We are prepared to invest a lot of money and time, and we have to put a huge effort in this. And I am questioning, why? Are you prepared? Do you have time and agenda to support everything? It's realistic in this moment that we are trying to change everything in a year? It's not realistic. But of course, if you have experience, background, and some orientation in the way that you can evaluate, assess, and diagnosis is not a good word, but it's about something like this, to understanding the needs, the underneath problem. And if you have some suggestions in approaches that you could to put your needle in 1 or 2 points, with good people committed, with being sponsored by the top management, and people could connect energetically with this moment that could happen in 3 months or 6 months, and in the end of the process, you actually could change realistically everything or anything. It's better than to make a huge noise and a lot of shake and a lot of changing projects and campaigns and things like this, because people are overwhelmed in our organizations right now. People are with a full agenda. The bureaucracy in the AHS area today is huge, is amazing, and we have to work to declutter all of this bureaucracy and to recover our sense of what really matters to do. So my perspective is more connected with what really matters to do to face this fatality. What really matters? Simple, focused, with just the group of people that are strictly connected with this. And sometimes we have more. We have to improve more energy into the system and not into the people's change. We are often trying to change people, trying to change these behaviors, these daily behaviors. And when you are going really deep in understanding what really happened in a fatality, as an example, it's not so rare that you are facing some systemic situation. It's not about talk with people. It's not about teaching people. It's not about changing their behaviors or creating a new leadership workshop to improve the leadership commitment with safety. It is the traditional solution that we are using every day to trying to change the things in safety. Sometimes we have just to reorganize something in the legal aspects of the contractors, in the contract of the contractors, and with one activity, with one point to focus your energy, you can spread the benefit for 30, 40 contractors companies with a global company like Coca-Cola, like Shell, like they have dozens of contractors. If you change some aspect, the right aspect, you can improve good changes for all of them in one single movement, right? So I guess, in my perspective, this is smarter than trying to change everything with everyone every time. It's not. It doesn't fit anymore with our business's reality, right?
It's an important point that you bring up, that when organizations are coming to a consultant, oftentimes it is because they're in pain, right? As a whole, the organism that is the business is not feeling good. And when, everyone can speak from experience. If you're, unwell, if you're sick, if you're in pain, you're going to reach for the first thing off the shelf that you think might solve it, right? And you might grab the whole, bucket of solutions, and run out the door with it, hoping that something will stick, right? But to your point, if you take the time to really go through, be thorough, you can save an immense amount of everyone's time, money, effort. There's a lot here that can be done with being precise and focused and knowing what you actually want to do. And I think that that's a really good point to bring up, because I'm sure a lot of people listening to this, will be able to think, oh, well, we've tried how many different efforts to change things. And there was that one that really was good, but man, did a lot of that we went through not really make a huge difference at the end of the day.
And now the time of trying to have the bullet, the silver bullet, is over for the global companies. Is over. We never found the silver bullet.
Still could be out there. Who knows?
They brought into the system all of the methodologies and the theories and the approaches that the safety market could sell in the last 30 years. So they are all with their shelves full, completely full. They have a lot of tools that doesn't work anymore. A lot of tools. But the frontline leaders are every day running the tools because it's the system. So we are now more working for the system than working for what really matters. So if the people that are hearing us now, if they could, if they want understanding more about it, systemic changes is a good source, but it's a simple aspect of design thinking. The first problem that we have to face with the design thinking process, it's never the real problem. The double diamond in design thinking, in the first diamond, we are in a group trying to go deep underneath the appearances to understand what is the real problem, because the problem that is on the table when you are invited to try or to offering some advice or some orientation or project, the problem that the company are telling you is never the real problem. This is the surface of the problem. So it's really easy to see it when we are dealing with accidents and incidents. Oh, the cause, the root cause was people are not following the rules. This is not the real problem. This is the surface of the problem. If you start with these people to go in deep, to understanding more deeply what is really happening here, it's not about not following rules. That a complexity underneath of the surface. And if you are interested in listening people and going to the field and observing the things and curious about, hey, but these guys that was connected with these last incidents, these guys were working in this way for how long? Years, months, and you were here all of this time watching this, and why it was not a problem until tomorrow, until yesterday, but now is a problem, and tomorrow it could be an action plan. What changes? What really changed here? So if you are interested and curious about these more specific aspects, you of course you are going to spend more time understanding the situation and the real problem, but the precision of the intervention could be really more effective, because often it's simple. It's simple to change some things. Or if you are going to the right point, you can, with one plan, to trigger benefits for the whole system with one activity, right? So this kind of way of thinking, system thinking, is really helpful for AHS professionals, because we are often trying to comply. It's okay, it's not okay, it's complying, people are following rules or not following rules. It's safe behavior is not about following rules. It's about everything, but not just following rules. We are preparing people to make good decisions, to become aware about the risks and the variability of the real work, the daily work. It's more complex than following rules. And this is one of the discussions that we are often inviting people in Safety Lab. We have to change this mindset and to understanding people's behavior more deeply, and to understanding the reasons behind their behaviors, and not just judging their behaviors. This person is committed with safety, and this person is not committed with safety. This is so superficial, and it's not helpful to handle with behaviors, attitudes, changes, and culture in the workplaces.
So important. I can tell, Juliana, you're really passionate about this. Yeah, you can. When I'm talking to you, you've thought about this a lot. You've gone through, and this is something that you clearly believe in. What, I guess, for you is your favorite part about the work you do? What really excites you about what you're doing?
I have a lot of different sources of passion in this area. The most important of them is I really believe that it's possible to have a successful business taking care of people properly. I really believe in this. And yes, we have a lot of companies, not the major part, but yes, we have a lot of companies, successful companies around the world that are truly concerned about people's integrity and people's well-being. So for me, this is the most important thing. I really like the complexity of the high-risk industries and all of these challenges that we face every day in order to change things, and understanding where and when and with whom we are working in this focus. And the third thing is my other source of passion is live as a testimony of their learning pathway. I really like to observe people learning, people getting better, people getting more competent, people getting more self-confident in their own competence, and understanding that they can change things around them. So every time when I am in a training or a workshop room with 50 leaders, with 80 leaders, with a CEO, with a VP, and these people used to tell me in the end of the day, whoa, I am understanding better my place, my role in this situation, and I am personally committed now more than I was before. This is concerning me. I I could connect my personal values with this purpose of AHS, that is protect people. And I am sure that we are going to find the way to connect outcomes for the business and caring people in this journey, besides of the challenging moment that we are facing in the world. So to be able to live these moments and to hear these kind of things from them, people that has a technical background, and before 3 years ago they were not really concerned about behaviors, attitudes, values, sense making, and now they are asking, how can I bring more sense of purpose into my safety talks, my safety moments, and connect people with this, because it turns to more valuable for me right now than ever, and I am now triggered to connect more people with this purpose. So all of this experience can nurture my passion, and it's a kind of feedback that is happening. It's possible. People are interested in it, despite of the context, and despite of these disruptive futures that we are imagining now, a whole factory without people, just run it by AI and robots. I'm pretty sure that we are going to live in workplaces with people and technology for a long time, and we can offer better experiences and sense making and guidelines for these people that we are doing until now, right? So this is my source of energy.
Love it. And it's clear that where you're coming from is going to really help other people who are listening understand how important these topics are, right? When somebody is speaking, to your point about human factors, and somebody really does genuinely care about what they're talking about, it's very easy to listen to that and be more engaged, right? I mean, it's just going to happen. So it's incredibly, a very, very important message. Where can people find your work, what you're up to, and what you're doing?
Great. My main channel of contact is my website, julianabley.com.br, because I live in Brazil. I have my first book, Safe Behavior, is now in English, available in English, so it's possible to find it in my website and on Amazon or different marketplaces. A good place to keep in touch is LinkedIn, with using my number, Juliana Bley, my name, Juliana Bley. So these are good channels to keep in touch and to share more information. I'm completely open to connect with people passionate for caring people and learn from different countries and different cultures, and share the good things that we are running here in Brazil, Latin America, and Portugal. That these are my field of work and impact. So it would be great to keep in touch with people that are connected with these topics.
Absolutely, and we'll include the links down below in the video here for everyone who wants to check out the website, the book, everything here. Juliana Bley, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. This was a really excellent discussion and lots to take away from and think about here.